Hello. I want to welcome you all to this video, this tutorial. It's a pleasure having you. So once again, we'll be designing product packaging in this video as well. Okay, so without further ado, let's get going. So the first thing, of course, is to set our document size. Come back to file, new. Okay. Okay, so for this size, I'm making use of the size of the mockup I want to use for this design. Okay, that's the size I'm making use of, the size of the mockup I want to use for this design. So I'll come over here. I can just let me just rename it. Okay, so you can see the widths, the heights, and I'm good to go. Great. Then Ctrl O to have a proper size. Okay, so having done that, next thing I want to do now is to go over to my folder where I have my images. I'm bringing in this image once again. Okay, I'm gonna drop it here. Okay, then I'm going to left click and bring this up a little bit more, like so. Okay, so once I'm done, the next thing I'm going to do now is to control and the plus key and both things. I want to zoom in a little bit, so I'll just come over here, go back to my pen tool, and draw this. Let's make we're gonna double click and drag. Okay, and I'm gonna come here, double click and drag, like so. Double click and drag. Now come here, double click and drag, then up here I click on this, then we are good to go. I can click on and move to move this up a little bit, like so. So you can see what we have. So having done that, the next thing I want to do now is I'll click on Ctrl O to have a befitting size that fit in properly into the canvas. The next thing I want to do now is to bring in an image. The first image I want to bring in, before bringing in the image, I want to change this color because I want to design a orange fruit juice packaging design, whatever. Okay, so I want to change the color of this first. This blue color, I'll click on it. You can see what we have. So how do we change the color? You can see this thumbnail icon here. You can see where it is. I'll double click on it. Here we are. Okay, double click on this once again. I'm gonna click on the color overlay, click on it. Now click on this blue, color here. So I want something orange. Orange. Oops. Nice. Okay, I think this is cool. It looks orange. Alright, so once we are done, you click on cancel. Yes. Oops. Then we have our orange color. The same thing here. I'm gonna click on this shape as well, double click on this thumbnail. This is very simple. Just bring you can see we have the eyedropper icon. Just click on this color, then we have the same color as this one. Right, then we are good to go. So having done that, the next thing I want to do now is to bring in the next image. Go back to my folder, and I'm bringing in this walls, bringing this in, drag and drop it into Photoshop. Just drag and drop it into Photoshop. Then I'm gonna resize this. Look at, whoa, like so. Resize it like so. That's what we have. Yes. Then once I'm done, the next thing I want to do now is to bring in another image. Go back to my folder. Let me make use of this. I'm gonna drop it into Photoshop, drag and drop into Photoshop, and drop it here. I want to bring it down like so. All right, and I want to bring it I want to drag this new image below this first one. So I'm gonna left click and drag it below it here. You can see what we have. All right, so once I'm done, the next thing is to bring in another image. So I'll go back to my folder. I want to make this really juicy, and so whenever someone sees the product, they'll feel like, yeah, I really want to drink this. So I'll make sure I kind of add a lot of sauce. So the next thing is to click on this, left click. I'm going to drag it into Photoshop once again and drop it here. Wow, look at. So once I drop it here, next thing I want to do now is to make it cool like this. Isn't this cool? Look at. I want to reduce the opacity of this. I want it to show slightly. I want it to show slightly. So I'm going to come back to the opacity. You can see I'm on the layer here. This is the layer. I just brought it in. Okay. You can see the opacity here. I'm going to left click and drag it towards the left to reduce the opacity. To increase the opacity, the right. You can as well impute a precise, size, or precise measurement here. Okay. In this case, I'm going to left click. I'm going to drag it towards the left. Think let's leave it at 30%. Okay, look at. So having done that, next thing I'll do now is to bring in another image. Okay, go back to my folder. Which one can I still use here? Let me see. Let me make use of this. This is very cool, very fantastic. Drag and drop it here. Let me reduce the size of this a little bit, like so. I'm gonna drag it. Let me kind of rotate it a little bit. No, rotate. Okay, you can see left click and drag a little bit. I'm gonna reduce the size and bring it up. Look at. Let me increase the size a little bit more. Okay, so once I'm done, wow, this is really getting yummy. Next thing is towards, I still want to beautify this more. Okay, let me add this as well. Left click and drag it into Photoshop and drop it. It's too big. Let me reduce the size. And bring it towards this side to be very cool. Reduce the size. Can try to just bring it down. I want to rotate it. You can see the cursor actually changes. You can see the sign, like it's somehow bent. That's when you can rotate it. I'm going to left click and rotate it towards which side. Just make sure I have a proper one. So reduce the size a little bit. All right. I use the arrow key on my body to nudge it. Alright, so once I'm done, the next thing is to bring in another image. I still want to use more images. Let me try this. This will be very fantastic there as well. Drag and drop it here. Oh, it's too big. Left click and resize it. Okay, I'm gonna bring it down. Let me put it this side. Let me rotate it as well. Rotate it like this. Let me put it here. Can reduce the size a little bit. Yummy. I can use my keyboard to the arrow keys on my keyboard to position it. Okay. So the next thing I want to do now is to bring in another image. Which one can I still use here? I want to use this, but I just need this part alone. So to do that, what I'll be doing is let me go back to Photoshop. I'll click on Ctrl O because I want to kind of edit this image, this one here. I'm gonna click on this and open it. So I'll be cropping this. I want to crop this part out. So I'll come out to my crop tool. This is the crop tool here. The crop tool. can see that I'm going to, so once I click on the crop tool, I'm going to resize it like so. I'm going to resize it. You can see what I'm doing, just kind of resizing it. Look at resizing it. Okay, so once I'm done, I'm going to click on this, so that's now been resized. I'll go back to my move tool. This has a transparent background. Okay, I'm just going to drag it and drop into my design and place it here. Then Ctrl T to reduce the size. Left click and drag it like so. I'm gonna bring it here. Click and drag. Bring it here. Click and drag. Okay, I cannot drag it down here towards the size, this side. A little bit. Okay. Then I want to duplicate this. I can hold my Alt key, double click on it and drag it by holding Alt key to duplicate it, and I can leave it here as well. Okay, isn't this, look, isn't this amazing? All right, so the next thing I want to do now is to I can bring this up a little bit. Okay, now to my shape tool, my ellipse tool. Make sure you're on ellipse. So to have a proper circle, I'm gonna hold my shift key, double click and drag it. Okay, like so. So I want to change the color of this shape. I can double click on this, and I'll double click on this color picker. Then I can just, you can see the eyedrop, the pen here to pick a color. I'm gonna click on this to pick this color. I'll click on OK. So we have the color now, right? Let me just take this back and go back to my move tool. Once I take this back, it's not gone. Back to my move tool, and I can move this towards the direction I want. So let me just position this properly. Ctrl A and position it to the center. Then I'm going to bring it down a little bit. Ctrl D to deselect. Okay, so I'll go back to my text tool now. I'm gonna type in, I'm gonna click to type in, and I'm gonna change the size. Reduce the size. Then I'm going to change the font as well. Okay, 100%. And I light it and adjust the size. I think 15 is cool. Then back to my move tool. I'm gonna move this. Yeah. Okay. Now to my text tool once again. I'm gonna click. I'm going to highlight it and come over here and change the fonts to something like this. Maybe just increase the size. 17 is okay. Then back to my move tool. I'm going to move this like so. Okay, so once I'm done, the next thing to do now is to go back to my text tool once again. I'm going to type in the name here, which is I think I need to adjust the size to like let me try 25. Okay. Alright, so what I want to do now is to highlight it first. I think I need to bring the size down to like let me see, 20. Okay, then I'm going to change the color. Click on the box here. So I'm going to just come over here and click on this color here and see what I did. So I'm going to click on OK, then go back and click on this, and we have this. Back to my move tool, we have this. Okay, so if I just bring this down a little bit with the arrow key on my keyboard to nudge it down, then I'm going to go back to my text tool T. Okay, I'm gonna click on this. I'm gonna reduce the size to like 15. I'm gonna type in my natural taste. I'm gonna highlight it. Then to my, I want to change the font to ethnocentric. I'm gonna reduce the size to like, let me see, 10. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is go back to my move tool. I'm gonna move this to this side, and so make sure this is in the center. This Ctrl A is aligned to the center. Ctrl D to deselect it. Let me align this as well. Ctrl A, click on this, then Ctrl D to deselect it. I'm gonna move this to the top a little bit. And what I want to do next is to double click to edit. I'll double click on it. Okay, I'm just gonna highlight this juice. Okay, so I want to change the color of this juice to green. So after highlighting it, I'm gonna click on my, this is just the text I want to change the color. So I highlight the part I want to change the color. Then I'm going to click on this color. This I'm gonna click on it. You can see we have this. It can pick any color from anywhere. Okay, from anywhere here. Alright, so I'm gonna come back to the green part here and click on the color green. I want a green color for that. Okay, so after doing that, the next thing to do now is to click on this so I want to highlight this as well. Double click on this as well. I'm gonna highlight the natural. Okay, I'm gonna highlight the natural. I'm gonna change the color to, click on this to change the color to green as well. So green. Okay, that's what we have. So having done that, I'll come down to this part, to this part here, to this juice, goody juice. I'm going to double click on the layer. So once I double click on it, I'll come over to stroke. Click on stroke. So I want to add a black stroke. I can just put like 2. I think 2 should be okay, so that it can show properly. You can see what we have here. Okay, let me see if I can add shadow a little bit. Inner shadow. I don't want this inner glow. Inner shadow. I don't need that as well. I don't need it. Let me see if I can add drop shadow. Just want to make sure it's drop shadow. Okay, let me just leave that. Double click on it. Double click. The stroke. I can give it like 3. Let me see how 3 is gonna look like. 3. Okay, I think this 3 is cool. Can see what we just did. So having done that, the next thing I want to do now is to, this is beautiful, right? Let me see what I can still do. I think this is good. This is very, very cool. It's beautiful. So the next thing I want to do now is to, let's just save this. This is the front part of our design. The front part. I'm just gonna go back to my, I'm gonna save this. Go back to file, save as. Then I'm going to be selecting JPEG and click on save. Okay, so the next thing to do was to design the back parts. Okay, just gonna click on the first one here. I'm gonna come down to this part here. Hold my shift and click on this. So I selected everything already. So I'll click on Ctrl G to group it. Then I'm gonna off it, switch it off. So having done that, next thing I'm doing is to click on, let me cancel this. I don't need it again. I just come over here. Okay, Ctrl O to bring in the barcode and the nutrition. So I'm going to bring in nutrition facts. Okay, I'll click on that. So after doing that, I'm going to go back to my rectangular marquee 2, as you can see. So I want to select these parts. I want to cross this part out. Nope. Let me reselect it. Like so. So once I'm done selecting it, I'm going to go back to my move tool and I'm going to move it to this. Okay, the next thing is to position this properly. Okay, then I'm going to use my ruler to make sure it's fitting properly. The height, I want to get the right height. Let me just use let me leave it here. Then the other one as well, make it okay. Then I'm going to click on this and I'm going to bring it to this top here. Okay, let me bring it down here. Now click on Ctrl T to transform it to increase the size. I think it's there. All right, I'm gonna take this ruler. Okay, I'm gonna click on Ctrl A to align this to the center, vertical align. You can see. Then click on Ctrl D to deselect it. I'll hold this ruler and take it back up. So I brought the ruler from this side. I can take it back up there. If you don't have the ruler here, you can go back. You can go to View. You can see ruler. If yours is not checked like this, like you can see it's gone now. So to bring it back, you just make sure your ruler is marked, it's checked. So I have my ruler here. So I want to bring in a barcode now. So for the barcode, let me just bring this ruler down. Oops, the ruler down like so. Let me just leave it here. Then I'm gonna go over and bring in my barcode. Okay, so Ctrl O. Let me just bring in something like this. Then open. Okay, then my barcode, my rectangular marquee 2 to select my code. I'm just gonna left click and drag it. Okay, so once I'm done, so I'll make sure I go back to my move tool after selecting the rectangular marquee 2. So I'll go back to my move tool and I'm gonna move this to my design. I'm gonna bring it down here. Okay, let's resize it. Ctrl T to resize. So I want it to have the same size as this, the same width. Okay, I'm gonna bring it down. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this down like so. Okay, then Ctrl A to align center to the center. Ctrl D to deselect. I'm gonna take the ruler back up. All right, so once we are done, the next thing is to save this as well. So I'll be saving this as well. Save as, choose package. So I'm gonna name this just back. Okay, I'm gonna change this to JPG. Okay, I'm gonna save it here. Okay, so once I'm done, the next thing is to bring in our mockup. Okay, Control O. The mockup I want to use is see here, which is this. Open. All right. So to edit this mockup, you can see we want to edit this. Okay, we want to put in our orange design here. Okay, so we're gonna come over here, this object, click on this arrow here to come down. Then I think this is the back parts. Okay, let's edit the back parts. You can see this here. Double click on this thumbnail icon here. Then I'm gonna switch this off. Okay, and I'm gonna come over to my layer. So to choose my back parts, I'm gonna drag and drop it into Photoshop. So you can see what we have. I'll click on this. I'm gonna click on cancel. Yes, you can see what we have. So we have our back parts here. Okay, guys. So the front part as well. This is the front parts. Let me just scroll to the side. The front parts here. Okay, so I'm gonna double click on this. Now switch this off. Then to my front parts, which is this. On the left, click and drag and drop it into Photoshop and drop it here. Just drag and drop it into Photoshop. Okay, now click on this. This is the front part. I'm gonna click on cancel. Okay, so now you can see can see our design now. So you can see the cap. The cap is still blue, so we want to change the color of the cap. To do that, I'm going to come over to the cap layer. This is the cap layer here. I should switch it off. You can see. So I'll double click on this box, this blue box here. Double click on it. So I want to change the color. So we have the color picker. I can select any color here. So I just come over here to click on this color to choose this color. I can just play around this. Okay, and click on OK. Look at what we have. The next thing is to adjust the background. This is the background layer here. I'm gonna click on the arrow to open it. And you can see the background color. Double click on this, and you can select the background as well. Look at. Look at. You can change the background to any color you feel like. Look at. Isn't this beautiful? Okay, let's just go with something like this. Okay, all right. You can also use the gradients by coming up, by double clicking on the background layer. Double click on it. Okay, you can use the come to the gradients overlay. You can see you can choose any. You can click on the box to edit it. Click on this, and then click on the color here. You can choose any color you feel like. Okay, that is that about that, but we aren't using gradients here. I'm just kind of showing you that. Okay, cancel. So now let's save our work now. Let's save this. So let's go back to our file, save as this package. Okay, design. I'm going to change this to JPEG. I go to my products. I'm gonna save it here and save. Okay, so look at what we have. All right, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much. I believe you've learned something really huge. All right, bye for now.